So how did I paint them? Quick, in a word. Off your toys are shit, covered in mud. What do? Eat that and poop it out. That kind of thing. So much turnip. This weekend gone was TurnipCon24. What a marvellous thing. Here's my thoughts. My army hastily painted the week before, cobbled together so that I could play at this spectacular event with the amazing artistic bastards who I've all fallen in love with. Hardcore hobby heroes. I think this sums up the event. There's Max, Tom, who is not only a snappy fucking dresser, but had a very nice army. Root vegetables. What you want is root vegetables, not skulls. Although I suppose there were some skulls. So yeah, let's where do we start? Flag, tin foil with paper glued on either side, so it holds its shape and stays nice and wiggly. Seal it with a bit of PVA as you glue it on. Jobs are good. Just on a bit of plastic rod. Let's put it back in there. Then there's the quad themselves. So they got the head to give them that kind of bulbous head with the leaves and roots going up. Some of them have got tufts, some haven't. And then there's bits of scatter terrain on the bases, so they're multi-based in pairs, some of them. So I got what? Of a unit of 12, 2, 4, 6, 8 on doubles, and then the rest of them on the single bases, just so that I've got a bit of flexibility, but I can also move them quickly. Let's see. Oh yeah, the cannon. Ooh, hello. The cannon is on my own custom hex base. Then's the magnets, because I'm a pervert for hexagons apparently. Somebody came up to me, "Oh, you're the hexagon base pervert," which I took as a compliment. Right, and then there's bastards, so blokes on horses, 40mm hexagons. They are the Necropolis Minis little, I forget what they're called. I'm very tired. It was a very busy weekend, and it was a very busy week. Bank holiday Monday, playing a little bit more, testing out Dan's game. But these are Necropolis Pete, so I had the honour of charging him with his own minis, and he cut me down. Did I cut him down? I don't know. It was fun. It's fun. I don't care. It was fun. Everybody wins if everybody has fun. If one person is having lots of fun and the other isn't, you're not doing it right. Old Warhammer shields, cut down a little bit, shaved off the detail so that I could hand paint some detail on there. Some iconography, some stuff that I have left over there. I'll try and put some pictures in. I had great fun one evening sketching up. I'd read the rules and my eyes were going a bit square, so I got the pencil out and started to sketch as to what I was gonna paint on the shields and on my flags. Speaking of which, there's a little flag. Again, what's that? Warhammer nonsense bits box. And that goes on the squire. He's a little fella of Curtis's, one of his little snails, with Gardens of Hecate. Funny thing, I just like painting them like old metal idols from some weird cult, because you're not picking a faction or a chapter or whatever. You've got a cult, and that cult flavours what your army can do. It's kind of got an army-wide rule. In my case, it was a crab. I started building it as a snail, read the rules, decided it would be a bit slow and I might not get on with that style of play, so I built a crab. But I'd started building a slug thing with 2 legs. Look, just read it. I never make sense, but it will make sense. So I made an elephant because I like Clutch, and they got an album called Elephant Riders, and I wanted an elephant rider. You get a unit that's a howdah on a giant crab with loads of people poking out with long sticks and doing a murder. So I thought I'll put one on there with a really murderous stick. So it's one of them gun stick arrangements. What? And he's got garlic for bum. Wiggly. You just have to have a look, it'll make sense. So you saw the cannon, and then there's a bloke with a box and a bloke with a big old plunger ramming rod. They're wound markers because it's got 3 wounds, so you just knock them off. What else we got? So you got the unit, you got the cannon, you got the big fella, and then of course you've got the toffs and the toadies. Well, your toff is the boss, and your toadies are, oh hello, it's caught on the murder stick, hello. And your toadies are your lieutenants. So there's my toff. He's got noise marine hair, Nurgle space marine head, tentacles that are sculpted, tentacle hand, different sword, because I think the other one was a bit spindly. Did he have a sword? I can't remember. But that again is one of Pete, Owl Shield, Necropolis, Owl Shield. Go play, it's fucking great. Yes, he's a lovely man. I think the rules are free, but you can join his Patreon and give him a few shekels. This is a Knucklebones miniature with hair from the snake ladies from Age of Doodah, and old Empire swords and things, little tilt shields from Terminators, all kinds of crap. Carrots and turnips in people's pouches and tucked in their belts. So how did I paint them? Quick, in a word. I had quite a constrained palette of colours. As you might imagine, some browns, creams and white to lighten them, go paler. Bits of dirty down and oils. So it was what? A bunch of base colours and metallics. Big fan of their Vallejo metal colour series. Seem to cover quite well. Quite thinned down already. Burnt iron and white aluminium. So quite a dark metal and a very light metal. You could really get away with just those two. But sometimes it's nice to have consistency across an army. I like to mix my paints. I always tend to mix my paints. Because I don't really care if one individual guy in a war band, if I paint him after, looks slightly different to the others, because that kind of works narratively. They were away on another mission, different campaign, in they come. Different campaign, a different sun, 2 suns, 3. So the different radiation exposure has made them different colours. Good old dirty down rust again, big fan of that for the fast. Had a couple of Chimera colour paints on it, really just because I love the magenta. It's got a really nice pop. There were some magenta oils in this as well afterwards. But the general process was that of oils on the bases, because they flow into all the muck, nice and thin. And I wet blended them together. Raw pigments and washes, raw pigments and thinner, washier stuff. And then, so it was really just kind of like base coats, metallics, go up with the metallics, an oil wash, and then that wet blending on the bases. Had to leave that for a good long while. Probably read the rules. Went for a test game. Yeah, the only other metal in there that's not those two was decayed metal for a bit of a brassy stuff, just to break up the metallics. Otherwise, all the browns were pretty much, a generic model colour smoke. I like that one. Lightened with good old pale sand. Where would we be without it? A bit of Blanco white for those super high highlights, making the pink and the vermilion just a little bit lighter, a little bit of pop, and then really pale. What else? Yeah, you know, Abaddon black round the bases. It's got a nice satin finish. Magos purple contrast, as well as glazes and washes, and a bit of brown ink. After I'd done the oils, after I'd then sealed them, I then went on with my acrylics, and then just kind of, I wanted to mattify them so they were super dank. Did take some of the oil shine off, but it then means that my wash is going over the top. The little pin wash with the inks run nicely into those dark recesses. What else we got? I will try and find all these people's handles and link them. Pablo, amazing artist, sculptor, puts the odd cock and pair of tits on a thing. But we're not squeamish, because you'll do war crimes and you'll summon a demon, but you're scared of boobs and penises. Funny bunch. Guns but not tits. I'd rather no guns and more tits, if I'm honest. Probably have to edit that out. I do chat some shit, don't I? So yeah, it wasn't really a painting video. It was more of a go and play fucking Turnip. It's great. And this is the other thing I should say. Turnip, you know, you can fit it in a box. That's my army in there. So yeah, like sheet of magnet on the bottom of the box. Let's turn it towards the light. Sheet of magnet. That's your army. Quoi? Oh, that was my sticker. Everybody wore a sticker, so we knew who we were, and we could find each other later in the photographs. Isn't that nice? You know who I am. You're already here. Yeah. So these little fellas, they're Stumpy. I've drawn on the back. That's a sausage. They're proper little puddings, little fellas. And they got these little proboscis noses. But I got Matt Knucklebones miniatures heads. He printed them up for me because he's a lovely boy. When we played a game of something or other the other week, and I stuck them on and put tufts on and all that kind of thing. And the Scandinavians, some of the lads from Finland that do the old 28 mag came over and very kindly gives a badge. So I sat and sewed that on while I watched a couple of battle reports one evening. What was that? Yeah. Oh. And I don't know if you know, but you know, your metalheads, you got your bolt thrower patches and your 28 mag patches and all your gaming badges and your metal badges. But what you've also got in your battle jacket is great big pockets for grabbing your dice. Hello. You've got great big pockets for throwing dice in, and your tokens and your counters. Throw your army in your little tray, and off you pop to your next table. That is my most prized possession, I think, my bolt thrower patch. If the house was on fire, I'd probably come back for that. The cat. My Rogue Trader original copy, I guess. Couple of signed John Blanche books. Quite pleased with that orc boat though. Jumping on that next. Orc boat with my commandos. You know the Chaos Squat ones with the beards from one of the really early, well fuck, my first video. I think I'm going to have to rip those green stuff beards off and do them as orcs for Boil. Bring out your lead in August. So what is it? Where are we? I best get a wiggle on. What are you painting? Played Turnip? Intrigued by Turnip? Tell me what you think about turnips or your favourite root vegetable. Obviously I was garlic. I didn't say that, did I? The 9th black garlic reavers. That was a garlic bulb with the old. Apparently, yeah, you pickle it and it gets all sweet and nice. And fan of black. Turnip is a bit good. Well, it is a game, but for losers. Now, hang on. You can win a game, you can lose a game, but everybody loses. The swamp cares not from whence the blood flows. The turnip, like if you carve it into a skull, you can make a throne out of it. It's good. It's good. You don't need many models. So, unlike Warhammer, where you have to spend tens of hours building, tens if not hundreds of hours painting, read a codex that's going to be out of date every 10-15 minutes. Get used to a rule set that's going to change in 2 or 3 years. And most players are casual players. But most rules are written for more gaming tournament set. To play that game with all its buzzers, bells and whistles. And be good at it. Feel capable. 40k is difficult. It moves fast. The rules need to be bought in big heavy books. Turnip is free. The models can be 3D printed. It's agnostic. Conversion is encouraged. I think it's more of an art movement than it is a game. Because every army, every regiment that I faced or saw about the place was an expression of the player's craft and mad sense of humour. It's all very Python-esque. It's all about this little psychological trick written all over the rules. You have a vulnerability save, not an invulnerability. You don't have accuracy or ballistic skill, you have an inaccuracy stat. You will spend most of the game charging across this swamp to try and get to objectives and dying on the terrain. You will run into combat. Any combat gives you a panic token. You gain panic tokens. Somebody says boo near you or fires a gun at you and you're off. You're running. You might gather yourselves together, the 2 or 3 of you that are left, and try and go in again, but you'll probably die or trip over a frog and get killed. I certainly did, but so did many of my opponents. Every victory is a Pyrrhic victory. You're slugging it out with rusty bayonets, and it's horrible, and your commanders are inept. The squad will run away straight past them, leaving this toff, literal toff, standing there with his little pistol and his sabre. Oh, I say. Invariably dying under a hail of black powder, arrows, or just harsh language, I imagine, a lot of the time. It's magnificent. It's a very pretty game. You can buy STLs. I always liked the aesthetic. But obviously, having since played it and met the frankly wonderful human beings that were at this event, everybody was, I'm going to say this, I'm trying not to puke in my mouth. The vibe was fucking excellent. It was, I've never played 5 games at a tournament and come away going, I've made 5 friends. I've made 15 friends, because we went down the pub afterwards, chatted to loads of people. I made friends with people on the adjacent tables. Amazing atmosphere. Every other person that was there was a creative genius, a beautiful painter, had a game of their own that they were doing. The young lad that I played, I'd only met him on the Saturday, so when we played on the Sunday, he's doing a master's in game design. Played his game on the Monday, just before they all ran off in cars and trains. Robot game, 3D printed, magnetised bits, plays with playing cards, wonderful mechanics, super nice young man, Mez Reg, or Dan with 2 A's, Dan, he's Belgian, you know, they're a funny bunch. We're all funny bunches. Made me cry, some of the nice things he said. I'll link him up, follow him, or I'll fucking come for you. I mean, yeah. What do I mean? I played Dan in the first game on the Sunday. It was a one-day event. Crazy. So many games in one day. So much stuff. So warm. Good old Rob, honest wargamer, got some fans in so he didn't melt. got the game of funk air moving through the building, and yeah, it was a magnificent event, and there was a bit of shouting. My voice is going as big stuff. Yeah, that's not the lights. That's Pink Vimto. There's a funny shop across the way. Pink. I played Dan on my first game. I played Pete, Necropolis Pete, who I'd had a game with a couple of weeks earlier. Ben Apocrypha now was there. Mr. Tonks, Yellow Cube Man. His head's not actually yellow or got corners. I was quite surprised. He's got like a face and a little beard and glasses, and he's super lovely. And I'm going to challenge him to a very special game. Yeah, I mean, a million lovely, lovely people. A wizard who can't be a lawyer. Freak, another Belgian. Freak, but EEK. Oh, I wish I could remember these people's handles. I'll smash them in there. Or, better still, just go to my Instagram. Googly Eyed Skull on Instagram. And you'll see I've been posting cool shit. They've been saying, fuck off, your toys are shit. Covered in mud. What do you do? Eat that and poop it out. That kind of thing. Yeah, I think only Dan said anything nice. It's a simple game with a few universal rules. So this basically means you've got only a few stats, only a few numbers to remember, a few basic systems to recall. So the cognitive load while you're playing seemed very low. Everything's quite similar, worded similarly, but not in a way as to be confusing. I've never played a game that I clicked with quite so quickly, apart from my beloved Necropolis. A few special units with their own rules. They all seem to interact really nicely. I didn't have any weird edge cases where it was like, but this says this and this says this. Because it's a living rule book, it gets, I think we're on version 17. That's not like 40k changing every few years and you have to buy a big book. It's just a digital update. So you can print it out. Or I had my laptop. People had their iPads. It was a piece of piss to have your rules on you. But I don't imagine they change fundamentally. Little tweaks, changes of wording. So it's a low buy-in because it's usually the cheaper, cheerful plastic minis, which you're going to convert anyway. And again, it's a low bar in that you can reuse Grandad's dirty old minis. You can get cheap plastic toy soldiers. But as long as you're doing something interesting, you can really go nuts and craft. Go and watch Bill making stuff. Slather it in super glue and baking soda. You know, the tufts, the grass tufts and flock, kitty litter, you know, just kick them down the garden and no, don't. 13, 14, 15, 12 blokes, 3 bastards, 2 toadies and a toff, and your big unit. Some armies were more numerous, lots of smaller units, or lots of chaff, next to useless. Everybody runs away scared. You know, hitting on a 4-up is like damn near miraculous. There's some real crazy edge cases where you might hit on a 3, but I can't even remember. But you say boo and they run away. Anybody fighting at any time. You know, called panic tokens, but it's PTSD. Everybody's scared shitless and they're covered in slugs and up to here in mud. Oh, it's hilarious. You know, a cavalry unit charges through dangerous terrain and miraculously survives. They're charged by a cavalry unit who lose a guy going in and then they fight and everybody's dead, and then you got dangerous terrain full of horse corpses and somebody had scored a point though. Sorry, Dan. Your horses are lovely though. Yeah, it's chock full of really good modelling opportunities. Everybody is like, this is the thing, it's on a base that's the right size. Go nuts. Go nuts. Curtis had a real turnip there. He wasn't like part of the game or anything, he just carved it, put some googly eyes in it, found a nice branch for him and he stuck it in the top. Oh, gorgeous. What a pair of cuties. Little Max. Everybody came away with a prize. Oh, this is the chocolate chip one. It's my favourite. I'm bound to have missed something. Oh, you know, like and subscribe, that kind of thing. If I did a Patreon, I'm broken. Long COVID doesn't seem to be going away. The arthritis in the hands. Oh, both hands. That's nice. Yeah, it's been a lot. With a few Patreon shekels coming my way, I could be a bit more consistent about this. So yeah, if you want to like help an old cunt out, so that I can focus on interesting hobby videos, maybe a more consistent space that isn't sometimes my hobby and also my living room. Like the camera, you're actually sitting on my sofa. Yep, tripod on the sofa. The cat's surrounded by wires. It's a very small flat, and I've not really moved in because I'm going to move out, so I can't like drill into the walls and bolt things in properly. It's all AI generated, this mess. Which of my videos have you enjoyed lately? What would you like to see more of? What would you like to see less of? Be nice. I mean, that's just like rule zero, isn't it? Don't be a dick.